For many people, the word prison conjures up images of confinement, loss, and an ending. Yet for some, what feels like the end is really the beginning, a catalyst for profound transformation. This is the story of redemption, of a journey from darkness to light, and of discovering purpose in the unlikeliest of places. Often, life does not go as planned. Sometimes a single decision, or series of decisions, can derail everything. But even in the depths of despair, there lies an opportunity for learning, for healing, and for becoming something greater than what we once were. Imagine waking up every day surrounded by concrete walls and iron bars. The freedom most take for granted is gone, replaced with structure, routine, and the echoes of regret. For many inmates, prison is a place of punishment, a daily reminder of past mistakes. But for some, it becomes a crucible, an environment that strips away distractions and forces a deep confrontation with the self. When someone arrives in prison, there's often an overwhelming sense of loss. The loss of autonomy, the loss of trust, from others and from oneself, the loss of opportunities, and perhaps for the first time, the loss of illusions. It's a place where masks are hard to maintain and truths come sharply into focus. Initially, survival is the priority, adapting to a new world governed by its own rules, customs, and hierarchies. It's easy, even tempting, to give in to hopelessness. But every individual holds within them a spark, a potential for change, and sometimes hitting rock bottom provides the solid ground needed to build something new. For some inmates, the earliest months are the hardest. The nights feel endless, and guilt can be suffocating. During those silent hours, many begin replaying the events that led them there. Regret becomes a frequent visitor, haunting thoughts and dreams alike. In these moments, a choice emerges: remain imprisoned by the past, or begin the difficult work of transformation. Change rarely happens overnight. It often starts with the smallest step: a book picked up in the library, a conversation with a fellow inmate, or a counseling session that touches a nerve. Gradually, these moments plant seeds. They encourage reflection. Who am I beyond the worst thing I've ever done? What do I want my life to mean? In the most unlikely of places, a new purpose can take root. Education becomes a lifeline, a way to rebuild a broken identity. Courses in mathematics or literature offer a glimpse of a world beyond cell doors. Programs focused on personal growth, therapy, anger management, addiction recovery, open new avenues for self-awareness. Each lesson learned becomes a brick, laying the foundation for something sturdier. For some, faith plays a pivotal role. Whether rooted in religion, spirituality, or a belief in something bigger than themselves, developing faith can shift a person's entire worldview. It instills hope, offers comfort in moments of despair, and provides a moral compass for the journey ahead. In the quiet of a prison chapel or the pages of ancient texts, many find the courage to forgive, not just others, but themselves. Relationships inside prison can also be transformative. Genuine connections, formed between people who might have nothing in common except their circumstances, can become sources of strength. A single mentor, whether a chaplain, counselor, or another inmate, can encourage another to dream beyond their current reality. Through shared hardships and victories, empathy blossoms and a sense of community is forged. Over time, inmates who commit to inner change develop a remarkable resilience. They learn to withstand adversity and accept responsibility for their actions. This responsibility is not about self-condemnation. It's about recognizing the power to change. True redemption isn't about erasing the past, but about owning one's narrative, making amends where possible, and choosing to move forward differently. As release approaches, a new set of fears emerges. Re-entering society is daunting. The world outside may have changed. A once familiar neighborhood might feel foreign, relationships may have withered, and opportunities can seem scarce. The stigma of incarceration follows closely. Doors that might have opened easily before can be hard to budge. Yet those who have transformed within prison walls often emerge stronger, more self-aware, and more determined than ever. They've learned the value of perseverance, the necessity of humility, and the importance of persistence. With these tools, they begin again. The journey does not end at the prison gates. In fact, the hardest battles are often fought on the outside. For many returning citizens, rebuilding trust is an ongoing process, one that requires patience, accountability, and sometimes enduring multiple setbacks. Finding employment can be challenging. Relationships will need time and effort to repair. But every day on the outside is also an opportunity to use hard-won wisdom, to avoid former pitfalls, and to build a life that reflects true change. Redemption does not mean being defined by the best or worst thing one has ever done. Instead, it means to live each day with integrity, to learn from the past, and to seek ways to serve others. Many formerly incarcerated individuals find fulfillment by giving back, providing mentorship to at-risk youth, supporting others in recovery, or advocating for justice reform. They use their stories as testimonies of hope, proving that transformation is possible, no matter how bleak things might seem. The lessons learned through this journey are powerful, and they extend far beyond prison walls. They teach us about resilience, the capacity to weather life's storms and come out stronger. They illustrate the importance of self-awareness, of confronting uncomfortable truths and using them as catalysts for growth. They highlight the value of community, how empathy, support, and understanding can change a person's trajectory. Perhaps most of all, redemption stories challenge our assumptions about people. It is easy to judge, to reduce someone to their worst decision, or to write them off as irredeemable. But every person is a work in progress. Every life has the capacity to change course. Forgiveness is another profound lesson. It is not always easy to forgive those who have hurt us, nor is it easy to forgive ourselves for the ways we've fallen short. But forgiveness is a key to freedom, releasing us from bitterness, anger, and self-hatred. In prison, where opportunities for vengeance or self-pity are ever present, learning to forgive is nothing short of revolutionary. Accountability is essential in this narrative. To be redeemed, one must face the consequences of one's actions honestly and bravely. This is not only about legal responsibility, but about making emotional and moral amends, acknowledging harm done, expressing contrition, and where possible, seeking to restore what was broken. This kind of accountability brings dignity and a sense of agency. It says, "This is my story, but the next chapter will be different because I choose for it to be." Growth is a lifelong process, and redemption is not always linear. There are setbacks, relapses, and moments of doubt. But for those committed to change, each challenge becomes an opportunity to learn. They realize that worth is not determined by a single mistake or even a series of them. Worth is revealed in the commitment to becoming better, to lifting oneself and others, and to living with purpose. Purpose, for many who have walked this difficult path, becomes the driving force. Out of pain and adversity, a calling begins to emerge. Some discover passions they never knew they had: writing, counseling, public speaking, or working with nonprofits. Some are moved to become advocates, fighting for reform so that others do not have to endure the same obstacles. Purpose gives meaning to suffering. It transforms what once felt like wasted time into a wellspring of motivation and achievement. The lessons learned in prison, discipline, adaptation, humility, and resilience often become assets in life beyond the walls. Rehabilitated individuals can bring unique perspectives and problem-solving abilities to their communities. They understand the consequences of choices in a deeply personal way. They know the value of a second chance, and are often the staunchest supporters of others struggling to find their way. Society, too, has lessons to learn from redemption stories. The power of second chances, the need for rehabilitation over punishment, and the necessity of compassion all become clear. When communities invest in the reintegration of formerly incarcerated people, everyone benefits. Experience, empathy, and growth can flourish, leading not just to personal redemption, but to communal healing. Ultimately, the story of redemption is a universal one. All of us have fallen short at times. All of us have regrets, moments we wish we could change. But just as the darkest place can become a crucible for growth, so too can our mistakes be stepping stones to something greater. We are all invited to participate in this ongoing journey, to learn, to forgive, to grow, and to find purpose, no matter where we begin. From the cold walls of a prison cell to the warmth of a life reclaimed, redemption is proof that hope endures. It reminds us that, while we cannot always change the past, we can always decide how we move forward. The lessons are clear. Responsibility leads to healing. Forgiveness opens the door to freedom. Community fosters growth. And purpose, the discovery of how our own pain may serve others, offers the truest form of redemption. For those still struggling in darkness, take heart. The journey is rarely easy, and the road to purpose is often paved with setbacks. But you are not alone, and you are not defined by your worst mistake. Redemption is not a destination, but a way of living, a daily choice to rise, to transform, and to become a beacon of light for yourself and for others. Let your story become a testament to the power of change, and to the enduring truth that from prison, literal or figurative, can come great purpose.